Hon Sirat Ali, nominated. Give him the microphone. Or any mic around that. Very well. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this platform to address this House. First and foremost, may I take this chance to thank my party, UDA, and the President for nominating me to this House. Mr. Speaker, this is my first maiden speech, and I would like to contribute to the motion by supporting the delocalization of teachers. Teachers, like other civil servants, should never be saturated in one place, and when we have shortage in other areas. Remember, the place where I come from, northern Kenya, we have historical challenges with teachers. And unless affirmative action is practiced, whereby we lower entry points to teach in colleges, we cannot just try to concentrate teachers in areas and leave out those areas. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I would like also to highlight some real challenges that are undergoing in my counties, northern counties. One of them is drought. Mr. Speaker, currently we are having a ravaging drought which has completely wiped out livelihoods. You are aware that those communities depend on livestock, and due to this cyclic and punishing drought, those livestock have been lost. As we speak now, we are almost losing human lives because of that drought. Mr. Speaker, our President has flagged off relief food almost 40 days ago. And as we speak, no tangible relief food has reached those destinations of northern Kenya, particularly Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Tana River, Turkana. Mr. Speaker, we cannot change the pattern of drought. It's a natural disaster. But we can change the effect of drought by mitigating, having proper plans and mitigations, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as we are undergoing ravaging drought, we have a twin challenge of insecurity. The little attempt by community-based organizations, NGOs, and well-wishers are not able to reach the final destination due to terror attacks. These attacks are done within our borders. Our security team are becoming helpless. Mr. Speaker, to add insult on injury on, to add also to the problems, Mr. Speaker, our own security team are not helping the situation. They are also doing their part in adding to the insecurity. Human lives are lost in unclear circumstances. Kidnapping, killing by our own security team, Mr. Speaker. We have seen human lives lost through the hands of our own security. Bodies have been dumped into rivers by mere suspects. Yes, you are suspected. No judicial process is followed. Mr. Speaker, human lives are just lost as easily as that, Mr. Speaker. I'm glad our President has disbanded the killer squad, but we should not leave them like that. They must be taken to account for what they have done, Mr. Speaker. Action is needed, Mr. Speaker, and that action must be done now, must be taken now, Mr. Speaker. We have the other issue of health, Mr. Speaker. Health, decent health is a human right aspect, Mr. Speaker. And as much as we are doing some attempts, Mr. Speaker, people are still moving longer distance to get medical attention, Mr. Speaker. I support the President in increasing the contributions to NHIF, because NHIF is the only organization that is doing something at least tangible. We need to fund NHIF, reorganize, and increase the contributions from the current ceiling of 1,700 to at least 10,000, 8,000, depending on the income of Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. We must charge the rich and let them pay more to support the poor, Mr. Speaker. In that way, we will cover the 50 million Kenyans who are in need of health, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the other issue we're having in those marginalized areas of northern Kenya is the area of housing, Mr. Speaker. This KK government, Kenya Kwanza government, has started to have housing, Mr. Speaker, for this country. We urge the government to start from those needy counties. Let's have bottom-up approach will help those who are already marginalized to have access to housing, Mr. Speaker. The other issue we have is the issue of, Mr. Speaker, the issue of ID cards. We are still having challenges with getting Kenyan national ID cards on those marginalized counties. I don't know why the person who is coming from northern Kenya is not able to have ID cards as easily as the person who is coming from Busia. We have lawyers who are in Uganda and in Kenya, and they don't have a problem. When I come from Mandera, I'm told, oh, you are bordering Somalia. You should be subjected to unnecessary processes. Mr. Speaker, we can't have two countries. We have Kenya, and let's have one uniform application of rules, Mr. Speaker. Our young men, youth are frustrated. I mean, they are going under frustrations. They cannot get ID cards as quickly as possible. Hence, they cannot get even employment. Even they can't go to higher. We will move very fast, and we will demand our right, Mr. Speaker. With those few remarks, I donate my time, and thank you very much.